Hi everyone, Edward here, and Apple has released Apple's WWDC on the 10th of June 2024, or Worldwide Developers Conference. Now in there they've introduced iOS 18, watchOS 11, tvOS, HomePadOS, new AirPods firmware, and many more. Now in this video I will be only focusing on watchOS, iOS, and the AirPods firmware, as these are really the main devices that I use. I don't have a HomePod and I don't have a Apple TV. So if you want to see what's new in the Apple TV, you better look for another video, as this video will be only focusing on the iOS, watchOS, and the AirPods firmware. So let's get going. Now, as far as the supported devices, well, the good news here is iOS 18 will support every device that supported iOS 17. So from the iPhone XR, XS, XS Max, 11, 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max, all the way up to the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro Max. All of these devices are supported. So even if you have the iPhone XR, good news here, you don't actually have to upgrade your device. You may not get all of the new features, but you will get actually most of the new features according to the latest rumors I heard. So the good news here, stay with your own device if you would want to. Now, as far as the new features, well, the iOS 18 comes with tons of new features this year. They specifically introduced AI, which we'll talk about more later. But basically, the first new feature is to do with Control Center. Now, with the Control Center, you can actually customize your controls within the actual control center instead of going into settings. So if you wish to change the color of your controls, you can actually do that in the actual control center instead of going into settings. So more customization there. Now they've also introduced customizable home screens. So if you want to add multiple home screens as well, you can actually do that. And they've also introduced new features such as phone recordings. So like if you want to record a phone call, you can now do that. Now, as far as the phone recordings go, they probably won't come to EU immediately. They might come a little bit later, but now you will be able to actually record a phone call. The other person at the end of the line will be notified that you're recording, and then you will be able to listen back to the recording and basically record a phone call from there. Now they've also introduced Siri with AI, and this is where the bad news comes in. Unfortunately, all the artificial intelligence, or the Apple intelligence as they called it in the conference, will be only supported in the iPhone 15 Pros. So the iPhone 15 is excluded, which actually disappointed me because I only have the regular 15. So that means I wouldn't probably get all of the AI features that are coming. Now they also introduced RCS messaging. So if you know someone that's using an Android device and they don't have the iMessage, well, now you can actually send RCS messaging, and RCS stands for Rich Communication Services. So when you go into when you set up the RCS messaging, you can actually message someone with an Android device. So you'll be notified when they have read your message, when the message has been delivered, etc. And I think you can send high quality photos, audio messages, everything that you can do with iMessages, except with the RCS on Android now as well, for the Android folks. And they've also introduced the new accessibility features. And now as far as voiceover goes, they actually introduced voiceover voices, but I have not played around with those. I don't have a beta software. And as far as installing beta software, I would actually personally hold off installing it, because the first developer beta is always buggy. So maybe I would hold off until the public beta, but I will not install the developer beta on my primary device as far as the recommendation goes, because that seems to be extremely buggy. Now, as far as watchOS goes, watchOS 11 actually seems to be pretty small this year. They've only introduced kind of fitness and health features. Now, as far as the fitness features goes, they introduced the new training mode, and they basically your watch will basically let you know how you're doing, if you're overdoing a workout, etc. So as far as watchOS goes, watchOS actually seems to be pretty small, which is actually a bit disappointing, but on the other hand, kind of fair enough, because they've already introduced tons of new features in watchOS 10, and they've actually changed the whole redesign. So that's better than nothing. So I'm glad they actually more focused on iOS this year than watchOS. Now, as far as the AirPods firmware goes, well, one of my most favorite features that I cannot wait to try out is when you set Siri to announce calls, you can now answer or decline a phone call by nodding or shaking your head. So when Siri asks you, answer it, you can nod your head for yes or shake your head for no. So this seems to be pretty cool, and I cannot wait to try it out. Now, it's amazing how the technology goes, and they've also introduced the new Vision OS, but again, I haven't got a Vision Pro, so I cannot tell you really what's exactly new. But this is as far as the watchOS and iOS goes. Let me know what's your favorite feature and what you are mostly looking forward to in the comments down below, and I will see you on the next one.